All right, Jenny, this is the third year in a row that you've picked a Charlotte Flair match where she was available.
Mhm.
You get pick of the litter. Why Charlotte all the time?
That's my girl. What are you talking about? Why Charlotte all the time?
I know it's your girl, but last year Charlotte didn't have a match. You picked Bailey and Io. But this
Mhm.
time, I understand Charlotte's your girl. Now, are you excited for WrestleMania 41 like other past WrestleManias with Charlotte?
I am. It's different, right? I feel everyone's always hated Charlotte, except for me, largely. But the hate is intensifying because people love Tiffy so much, right? And
Yep.
Charlotte comes back, and everyone is way over her being pushed every time she comes back. But you know what? There's a fucking reason for that.
She's the queen. All
She's
right.
the fucking queen.
We kind of share the same sentiment with Charlotte. I think she's extremely talented. Her star power is so magnetic and glowing that she doesn't really need to do much. And, which her not being having to do much give the haters some fuel to kind of shit on her a little bit. Unwarranted. She's going
Mhm.
to have thicker skin than thick. But
Yes.
I don't know. This year, it just feels a little bit more displaced. It feels like the friction is real, which
Mhm.
kind of in a unique way kind of intensifies the feud between these two. I don't
Right.
think that they will necessarily be unable to coexist on WrestleMania night 1 or 2, but I do feel that it's a little real, and I'm into it. To be frank,
Yeah, I mean, their last, interaction, I think, was, got a little out of hand with, some of the realness that they were trying to bring, and you know what? You know what? Give me all of that. Give me a crowd hating on Charlotte. Give give me an opponent who is a little bit scared of Charlotte Flair and gets a little rattled, goes off script because she doesn't know what to say to the queen. And
a
that's how I
little
read all that.
okay, yeah. So I think that maybe perhaps they said, "All right, girls, let's roll the ball out and let you go out there and do your thing. Here are maybe some key bullet points," and then they just kind of just was like, "Yep, no, 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 we got this," and then
Mhm,
maybe just
mhm.
a little bit too under the belt here and there. I think Tiffany had some receipts due from that sit down interview where Charlotte kind of ate her up a little bit, and she came to eight. She brought her fork and knife, and she got after her. And
She did.
I do think Tiffany perhaps won that round, and Charlotte was maybe she got her moments in, but have guys are in my DMs. I'm like, come
That
on, Charlotte.
that was the hell of a parting shot, but my feeling watching
Yeah,
that is I wanted Charlotte to just settle and not react to the crowd as much as what she was doing. She got a little flustered. It's unusual for her. I need her to be Ice Queen Charlotte.
hmm
That's what I love. I need her to be above all of this. But she can still go low a little bit, right?
hmm
Um, but her aloofness and the depth of what's underneath that is what draws me to Charlotte. Is like I
yeah.
can see the facade and I know it's under it. That's all. That's always how I've felt about her.
Well, I think it harpens back to when she had that return promo after the Royal Rumble,
Mhm.
and people were kind of like you said
Yes.
earlier, sick of Charlotte, right? So
Mhm.
she came back and she thought she was going to have this moment where she's been gone since November 2023. She'd been gone for 14 months, and she thought that she was going to have this moment where she, later on in her career here, had to work extremely hard and challenge herself to get back here. And then it would come out with her personal life isn't the best. Your husband's now at work with you, or your ex-husband, so to speak, right? There's always seems to be some underlining stuff with everyone, right? And Charlotte seems to kind of wear it with a straight face, and it always seems to be get out there in the public. So all that being said, I felt for her when the crowd kind of rejected her because she wanted to kind of put her heart on her sleeve and said, "I did it. It was a long journey to get here, but you guys instantly rejected me and did not give me a chance." And perhaps maybe with that throne being challenged, perhaps with a new beautiful blonde who's holding a belt and
Does a
could be,
moonsault.
yeah, Good point, Jenny. I never really put that into right? So it's just like a collegiate background, volleyball and gymnastics, right? So it's just like perhaps there's some underlining stuff that was here that was not addressed. And perhaps upper management didn't maybe should have addressed it and didn't address it. Or honestly, they could be working us all, right? In a way too. But I do feel for Charlotte that because it feels like ever since she got rejected on that promo after the Royal Rumble, it's kind of been a snowball and it all kind of
Yes.
culminated at SmackDown where she had the big sit down interview with Wendy Williams. Am I wrong?
Sherry, I think is her name.
I took a swing. I didn't.
Yeah.
It's not my demographic.
I don't think Wendy Williams is a thing anymore.
Was Barbara Walters there? I don't know.
I think it was Oprah and Maury.
All right. All right. Well, either way, not my lane, but I took a swing and I missed. But that felt calculated, right?
Yeah.
That felt that it was Charlotte trying to get back on that train track of where she started that promo. And then again, either they played into the rejection with Tiffany being the perception of the fans and Charlotte going out there and, having to push back, or it was real. What's the best part about it is I'm totally uncertain with the dirt sheet saying it. They could be feeding into it, of course, the WWE, or there could be some truth to it. I think it personally, there's a little bit in the middle there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, bless her heart. I mean, look, nobody, I cried my eyes out when Charlotte came back and, I feel like it was like her chance. If she was ever going to be a babyface, this is the chance because look, she tried.
I think they tried. Yeah.
They try. It don't work because that's not how she's perceived. It's not really who she is. It's not on her face. Okay. Like this is a heel. She's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when she leans into that. She's her best when she leans into that and she lets that go. She wanted that fucking comeback, embrace of the crowd. And I get it, but unless you're Jenny Smith, that's not going to happen. And I am in an elite club of people who still love Charlotte.
Charlotte could be, smacking babies and pissing on grandmas, and Jenny Smith would be all about it.
No, I that's my girl from day one. That's my girl. And anyway, it's interesting. Like it seems to me like she's trying to rehab her image a little bit, with the talk show and stuff. I feel maybe that doesn't serve her as much as she may think it might, as much as she may want to tell her story and reach out. And of course she can always do that. But I think Charlotte Flair lives in a kayfabe world. I think that works best for her.
No doubt.
When we're not doing some other superstars, you can kind of do real life things. But to me, Charlotte is like a mythical creature. I'm not trying to relate to her that much, right? Mm-hmm. She is an aspirational figure. So honestly, I feel for her, and it has to be really hard to be Charlotte Flair. And everybody has trouble in relationships. I don't judge her for that. And it's kind of shitty if others want to, but it's fodder.
It's low hanging fruit,
it's promo fuel. And Tiffy is in that point where that's where she's going to reach, right? I love Tiffany. I think she's extremely talented. She is also great on the mic. I can see some Charlotte in her, but it's too pick me.
It's not organic. It's too
it's not refined in the way that Charlotte is for me.
Yep.
But potential for sure. And she's a shit stirrer. It's fun. She's super fun. And I love watching her work. This match, I am a little, of course, I'm going to be sobbing the whole time, but there's a potential for emotions and pettiness to hinder this match. I think if they can be professional and put it aside, you'll use that emotion that they need for the match, but don't don't go too petty with it because it will turn people off. I make it the fucking acrobatic sport match that it should be with these two amazing physical contenders.
It's weird because it's like oil and oil
Yes.
in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like that you would think they would go together, but it doesn't. It seems it's kind of going like oil and water, where it's not really meshing. Now, will that translate on Sunday or Saturday? Perhaps, but before we jump to Tiffany, one more thing on Charlotte. With her vignettes leading into the Royal Rumble, do you think it was kind of with the presentation they wanted her to have coming out with the babyface side of things, the sympathetic things, show her on yachts and show her. That was probably a misstep in their part, huh?
Was missed. Yeah. As much as I love those, to me that the vignettes were making me excited for a new fucking fresh, hungry heel Charlotte. And then and all those vignettes, her, I mean, she looks amazing. She's, getting on the private plane. She's dressed to the nines always.
The yachts, the heels, the
yacht,
feet, unbelievable.
And I love that. I love that for her. Like I think that's what we need for her. But then when she comes in and tries to do the opposite, it's like, I just saw you living your best life. So I'm kind of not gonna, like, I'm glad you came back. She should, the athleticism of her too is something that we need to kind of get back to. Like,
because then you put on, no doubt, and then you look at Tiffany, who is like the pop daddy's little girl princess, who is kind of outgrown that, but still has shades of that. And then to kind of mesh them here, neither of them are playing into their kayfabe characters, and it doesn't seem to be connecting. That's probably what it is from an aspect of it. Like character-wise, there's stuff for them to play into, but they're not even going into those layers. They're just kind of just knocking the door down and just throwing the china on the floor and being like, fuck your house, man. There's no there's no nothing to kind of get us. They're just kind of going for it, which is, like we've talked about, kind of fun, but there's no layers. There's no it's a train wreck at times. So it's just like, I don't know. I'm nervous.
I'm kind of into the train wreck aspect, and you're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. Maybe it's a combination of Charlotte getting back into it. She's been gone for a long time. And then a combination of that and Tiffany stepping up into this huge role. And she's a little bit like, I mean, she has some good experience under her belt, very good at what she does. But with somebody like Charlotte, that has to be extremely intimidating. And maybe she's overreaching a little bit. So that sort of awkwardness on both of their ends may be feeding into some of that, like, oh shit, this might be a disaster.
Because with 2 SmackDowns left before WrestleMania, the brightest bulb right now is Ludwig Kaiser. Right? In a way, right? He's in DMs and he's got the girl at home. The man's living his life.
Is he injured? What's going on with him?
They kind of just low-key don't use him in that way.
Okay.
Like kind of when
we'll use him now. I think this is the time you can heat this up and easily in 2 weeks.
They did use him on Raw last night. When how on Raw, when you're overseas Netflix, you have a inset promo. He was in one of those, and he was like in a luxury box, and Kathy Kelly, he had a sly reference about this situation. So maybe they were testing the waters to kind of maybe insert him in here and do something. And if they happen to do that, my radar is going to go up to the left side of my inclination with like, they're working us, right? Like, which would be cool, which would be good, because that means they're together. They're going to work fine at WrestleMania. We're kind of going to get what we deserve, and honestly, what they deserve.
Right. I think everything's a work. So, and unless you prove it to me, everything's a fucking work. And yeah, I mean, like we've seen, like Jey Uso, he stepped it up recently in a kind of lukewarm stuff with Gunther. And yeah, I mean, there's always, it doesn't take much to like put a different spin on this or up your anticipation and and your hype level.
And that's why this is an interesting time to talk about it, because you could be optimistic with a SmackDown or two left that they will get the train on track like they did with Uso and Gunther, where they were kind of just swimming at sea level a little bit. Now there's full steam towards their match.
That's why you call it a build, right?
Yeah, they're ebb and flows, and then we were just at the train wreck portion of the flow, right? So,
right, exactly.
All right, it's hard to predict, honestly. I can see sides where Charlotte, she just got back. She's in line for a push. She's been away. She deserved it. And then I see it's Tiffany. She's 25 years old. Charlotte's, what's Charlotte, 38, 39? About she's there, right? But, Tiffany has her time, but is the time now to make Tiffany at that level with Charlotte? I think Tiffany can lose and overcome it and kind of have that journey that Rhea Ripley had at WrestleMania, like 36 or whatever, the pandemic, to stardom. Or does it like Bianca Belair, first WrestleMania, mega massive match against the 4 horsewomen, go in there and crush it, and I'm on the scene and it's my scene. So both are a little bulletproof. Charlotte a little bit more bulletproof than Tiffy, but I'm not ready to give my prediction yet. I'm gonna feel yours and I'm gonna react off yours, because I'm 51-49 and I'm curious where you're at. I know where your heart's at.
You already know where I'm at. Everybody on the earth knows where I'm at. I mean, like, it's Charlotte. It's gotta be. And I mean, look. Am I going to be surprised if Tiffy wins? Probably not, because I've had my heart broken before. So, Tiffy's had this belt for a hot minute, right? She's had the title for a while.
January, that's it, yeah.
I mean, it's a good 3-month run for your first time, and Charlotte worked so fucking hard to get back in the ring. She looks like $1 million. She seems like her heart's into it. Wrestlers maybe come back and they're like, you know what, this ain't for me anymore. But she still seems like she has something left. She has more to say and more to do. And if anybody, call her a Nepo baby, I don't really give a fuck. But she's earned every fucking thing that she's ever won, and anybody that says otherwise can suck my ass, okay? Because her daddy's Ric Flair, but Charlotte wins titles on her own merit, and I think she will add another one.
She could be Charlotte Smith, Charlotte Gray,
That's
Charlotte
what I'm saying.
Johnson.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. So, all right, I love Charlotte too. I definitely think that she could have had a different direction since coming back to the Royal Rumble, but looking at it, my gut tells me Tiffy, but my head tells me Charlotte. And I'm a guy that goes with his head, so I'm going to go Charlotte too. I think Tiffany will be fine. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Ronda match at 38, right? Where it was kind of a mess of a build going in, and they were in the semi-main event after the big Cody Rhodes reveal, right before the monster Stone Cold return, and the crowd was a little flat, but they went out there and beat the fucking shit out of each other, had a very good match, and by the time the match was ready to crescendo, they ended up having a very good match. And I feel that they will do this here. I trust them. And I ultimately trust Charlotte. She doesn't really miss on the biggest stage. Look what she did with Rhea twice. Look what she did with Ronda twice. And then, Asuka, Becky back in the day. She don't miss when the lights are on. Tiffany has had a handful of good matches too, with Becky, who's just as capable as Charlotte, if not a little bit less, right, in NXT. Tiffany's totally capable to go out there and have a Charlotte match. I just think it needs to be a Charlotte match. Like, you know what I mean? Like Charlotte athleticism, flying around, little stiff, little kick ass.
A lot of shit talking.
Yes.
I'm going to need that as well.
They've laid the ground for that one. They can accept that one.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had a surprising result here. And if they kind of pulled the rug out from us and then Tiffany won and then Charlotte, they had a rematch and Charlotte won again later. Because I don't think this is going to be like an opener. I don't I think it's going to be kind of where it was with the Ronda match. It's going to be,
think
they
so.
think it's a good spot, but I think it's going to be low key in a dead spot. But I trust Charlotte, garner everyone and get them ready for the crescendo of the match. And it's going to be heated. I think that there is investment here, even though people are shitting on it. They're shitting on it because they want to be invested. So the investment will be there. I'm going Charlotte. Fuck it.
Good. I knew you would.
You knew I would. All right, Jenny. What you got for us once we get out of here? Huh?
Well, you can find my stuff right here on North South Connection. Some Wednesdays I have some audio dropping. I have a show called Exposition, an X-Men podcast, and Talking Docs. And check both of those out. You can also find me on the Extreme Three-Way Dance, going through the history of ECW. And No So Takeover, going through the history of NXT takeovers. And then check out our No So 95 project we got going all throughout the year.
Yes, I'll say go check out the Yacht Rock documentary that you did with Roger and Logan.
Oh, yeah, do that one.
That was my favorite one.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Even you really should have ended with When a Fools Rush In, but you ended with Toto. So it was a 50-50, but I'm more of a Fools Rush In kind of guy than Toto.
So. Well, I had to do it for Logan.
Oh, all right. That explains a lot. All right, Jenny, thank you.
Thank you.